Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
Hey, Leo.
So, are you broadcasting too right now?
I'm always broadcasting.
You never turn that thing off ever?
No, it's always on.
So if you're not doing something, it just shows your computer. Because I've tuned in sometimes and it's just your computer sitting there. So that's just, it's always on.
Pretty much. But I've got a Ventrilo open in the background so my moderators and ops can chat it up with the rest of the crowd. But the cool thing is that I'll get a product or I'll buy something, set it on my desk, and people get to watch me unbox things at random. Someone caught a dog blooper where one of my dogs crawled on top of the desk and he fell off, and I don't know. It's just it's fun to actually have it streaming live because throughout the day, you know, people will tell me news that's happening, or I'll share with them, right? Or I'm just able to. It's like live support all the time. So I just instead of searching Google for an answer, I'll just kind of throw it out there because the answers I'm looking for are a little more, I guess, subjective in some cases. But no, it's just I don't know. I just turned it on and never turned it off.
You're my inspiration. I saw what you were doing. I said, boy, that's exactly the idea. That's the idea. That's what I want to do.
Well, you've got a hellish, way better setup than I do. That's for sure.
I spent some money on it. That's that's bad.
Well, it definitely shows, dude. I think what I've got, I had a back at Gnome Decks 3, your Gnome Decks, I bought a Canon GL2, and because I wanted to record a few things, but I never really got around to recording a lot with it. It didn't get any use until I started live streaming, and I'm connecting that, it's a FireWire cam, into a Mac Mini, and the Mac Mini is pretty much connected to a DSL connection that's dedicated 24 hours a day to the stream. And so yeah, I had the hardware anyway. It's like, well, I might as well do it. So
that's kind of what happened here too. I had all these cameras because we were going to do twit-live. We thought we would do that from a live studio or a live actually venues. We were going to do it from restaurants and stuff with video, and we never did it. So I had all these cameras that we bought for no apparent reason.
Are you streaming my video right now? Are you able to see my video?
Yeah, actually I am. In fact, I'm gonna switch over to that because right now I'm streaming the Skype video. But this is the Chris Pirillo. This is at live.pirillo.com. This is the other angle.
I'm holding up this is a Tengu, Leo. You can buy it at ThinkGeek for $50. And
that's cool.
As you go ahead, Leo, talk, and his mouth will move according to your speech patterns.
He's moving to your speech patterns right now, but it moves to mine. It's funny, $50, huh? We had a $1 million Silicon Graphics Onyx workstation to do the Dev Null character that I used to do on the site on MSNBC, and that was pretty much what it was doing. $50. I like it. Does it do anything else?
Well, if you blow on it, it'll change facial expressions. Hang on. Sorry, my dog just got off my lap. I'm not going to say what I'm doing. Sometimes you have to scream at it for it to change.
Then what does it do? Does it like register disgust?
No, there we go. See, now the mouth is different. Oh, I'm sorry. Now the people on my live stream can't see it, but
oh, it's big. Well, show it to your live stream because I've got that also coming up.
All right, let me zoom in here. This is another reason why I love the Canon GL2 is it's got a remote control.
Yeah, we have the same thing because the XL2 has the same kind of remote control. I love that zoom. Isn't that great?
All right, Leo, make the Tengu talk.
I will make the Tengu talk. Hello, I am Mr. Tengu, Tengu, Tengu. I am Mr. Tengu, not Gumby. That's cool. Chris is now blowing on his Tengu. I'll tell you, this is what happens. When I said I was going to do 24 hours of live iPhone coverage, they said, "Oh, you're going to collapse in a puddle like Chris Pirillo did."
Oh, well, let me tell you. Well, have you downloaded unofficially the iPhone 2.0 firmware, the OS?
Yeah, actually, I downloaded it, but for the iPod Touch, and I'm playing with the app. It's pretty awesome, isn't it? The app library.
I tell you, I am way more excited. This is one of the reasons why I'm not standing in line. I'm not going to bother. I mean, yeah, 3G would be nice. GPS would be nice.
Yeah.
But honestly, the iPhone 2.0 OS in conjunction with the App Store is it.
I totally agree with you.
That's it. It's game over. It's such an amazing experience, and I've been playing with mobile devices all the way back to the Sharp Wizard, if you remember that.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I go back a little farther even than you.
Oh, well, which one did you have?
I didn't have a Wizard, but I had. Of course, I have a Newton still back here. That was kind of the inspiration for a lot of this stuff. My favorite though was the Scion 3A. You remember the Scion 3A?
Ah, I never had that one. Who made that?
Oh, that was Scion was the company.
Scion.
Psion, and in many ways that was the kind of inspiration for a lot of these devices. It wasn't a phone, but it was. We had a full keyboard. It was a clamshell case. It kind of looks a little bit like the Envy does. And it's just dynamite. I'm just really a fan of the Scion. It was always my favorite.
Well, I like the Wizard. I mean, for what it did. I was in high school at the time, and it was long before the internet was even a dream. I mean, people weren't even on dial-up at that point.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, fast forward to now. I mean,
look at this. I agree.
It blows me away. I mean, most of the apps that I've found, I've only bought. I bought a few of them now. Some people sent me gift certificates for just doing things for them on the live stream. So I turned into a subservient chicken, if you will. And so I was able to...
They had me putting my keyboard on my head, just like you.
Oh, great.
But I didn't get nothing for free.
You've been initiated. But yeah, I mean, even... I can tell you that even the apps that, are just web-based, like Google Talk... or Hollow. I mean, they're still amazing. It's an amazing experience that I've just never seen on a mobile device. And iPhone 2.0 OS, the fact that Apple's making it available for current generation, at least right now, current generation hardware is they're doing something that I've never seen before. Hardware, software, service, the entire experience, stem to stern. I don't say it very often. I don't, and when I say this is a game changer, it is absolutely, and I'm pretty sure you absolutely agree with that as well.
I do, and it's funny because I don't think that the 3G iPhone, I don't think that the GPS, I don't think any of that stuff is as important as the App Store. And I've been saying that since I saw it. I think you're absolutely right. This is significant. It's funny you should say that. Jason Calacanis was on a couple of hours ago and said pretty much the same thing. He said, can you think of anybody who has been so dominant as Apple has in this space? And it really is true that they now control it from the beginning to the end.
Well, the one thing that I was surprised at with, and maybe it's coming in a minor revision, was no video recording. That really did shock me.
I am too surprised by that.
Yeah, you've got at least 8 gigs of space, and you've got video, obviously. You have the ability to transmit that video. I'm sure there's going to be an application, third-party app, that's going to be developed for it. Maybe Apple hasn't perfected it at all, but it's certainly capable of it, at least at 3G speeds, and if not that, then Wi-Fi. But the closest thing, if you haven't looked at the Evernote app for the iPhone...
Yeah, I love Evernote, yeah.
Well, it's great because you can record your voice. I mean, number one, it's free. You can record your voice, then sync it back, then pull it down as a WAV file. So if you're ever, out and about, you need to record, a voice interview or whatever, there's probably no easier way of doing it.
Interesting. What a good idea.
So Apple could very quickly close the gap with podcasting or just publishing in general if they had a similar, whether it was audio push or video push. And I think that is what I was surprised by. I was surprised that there wasn't a button that says, press here, record a video, and it will send it to YouTube. I was really sincerely shocked by that. So
I've been told that Flixwagon and Quick are both working on apps. Whether they'll get approved for the iPhone store, I don't know. They have, jailbroken. Quick has a jailbroken app that works on the iPhone, and it does do video.
That's likely what I'm going to do when I pick up the iPhone 3G. Is I'm going to jailbreak this one, so that I'll be able to, play. I've never jailbroken an iPhone or an iPod. So yeah, I just haven't because it's like, well, the iPhone was good enough. I didn't need it to do any more than it did, and quite honestly, I've had really bad experiences when it comes to doing things with hardware that the designers didn't necessarily intend with the operating system. And maybe that was just the experience I had with either Palm or Windows Mobile, which I know are completely different operating systems. But I never felt the need to go that far with it. I don't know. And now I really don't feel the need.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's fine by me.
I do think, and we've talked to a number of developers who are a little unhappy at how difficult it is to get a application into the store or even to get approval as an Apple developer. And I think that's, it's a shame that Apple is the gatekeeper here because, I admire their desire to kind of preserve the integrity of the platform and make sure the applications are reliable and robust. But it also stifles innovation a little bit, don't you think?
Well, I don't know if it stifles innovation so much as it just shocked me. When I first gained access to the App Store after people were announcing the direct links for it after downloading iTunes 7.7 officially, I was looking around. I was going, "This got accepted?" I mean, I'm not going to argue price points at this time. I mean, that is up to the market to decide. But some of the apps just seem quite questionable in quality. Some are amazing. Some are just absolutely astounding. The first app that I registered and really downloaded was the Aqua Forest app. And I'll have to send you a link, or just Google for this. Google for OE-cake. OE-CACE. It is CAKE. Sorry, I couldn't spell cake correctly there. But it's a physics application that you're able to demonstrate on a Mac OS X desktop or a Windows desktop. They ported the same functionality to the iPhone, and with the accelerometer, it is just it's breathtaking.
Now, I don't see that in the Apple Store. So it's not in the Apple Store?
No, you Google for it. It's an application you download for your desktop. OE-cake.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Aqua.
But just saying, if it were to become an iPhone application,
it is. It isn't. It is. It's called Aqua Forest.
It's a jailbroke application.
No, it's an official. It's an $8 app. Here it is.
I don't understand. I thought it had to be in the iTunes Store or you can't buy it.
No, this is available. Aqua Forest is in the that's okay.
Oh, Aqua Forest.
I'll rewind a bit. There's a desktop app. The iPhone app is based on right. So that now, it was just.
Here's a silly one. This is $15. It's called The Wheel. It's a gestational age calculator or pregnancy wheel used every day by doctors, obstetricians, midwives, nurses, and pregnant women. It easily determines the estimated delivery date or due date of the pregnancy based on the first day of a woman's last menstrual period. This is not an app you're going to sell a lot of.
Well, it's not just that, but when you look at some of the designs, I don't understand. I mean, really, I was expecting a lot more higher quality apps, and I don't mean like in terms of what the app does. I mean in terms of the way the apps look. And I think I don't know why some of them got through. I really don't.
Tell me what this is. What was it? Flaming Lips? Flaming Cake?
Oh, OE-cake. Search for that in Google.
What is the Apple app for it?
The iPhone app?
Yeah.
Is Aqua Forest, and it's a game.
Aqua Forest.
Search for Aqua in the App Store.
I got it. I have it here.
And
so this is a fun game. You think?
Yeah.
You recommend it?
It's if anything, if you play the free mode, you'll be able to just create creations and then play around with the accelerometer. The game is more like a puzzle game. Think of it kind of like an interactive touch Lemmings slash.
I like that kind of game.
Well, I don't know how else to explain it. If you download the desktop app, which again is called OE-cake, I'll have to send you the link. It will really show you what you can do when you start clicking around playing with the different toys, and that's available for Mac OS X or Windows. The iPhone app is.
Do you need the desktop app to understand this app for the iPhone?
Not at all. It's just what drew me into it. I didn't realize I wasn't making the connection until I was like, Octave Engine. That company did the other thing that we just talked about the other day. So it's a natural extension because when I put OE-cake on my MacBook, the desktop app is also aware of an accelerometer. So I was able to create something on the MacBook with relative ease, and then move it around, and then it was reacting to it accordingly. So
cool.
Well, anyway,
I just bought it. I'm downloading it right now.
I'm telling you, it's tons of fun. But those apps side by side with apps that just don't seem well thought out or well designed, and I just don't understand where the bar was really. And I know that over time you're going to have an increasing amount of apps. I don't know if I can trust the ratings as much as I thought I could. I mean, I was looking at some of the ratings today, and like for a game, I was like, well, this looks kind of interesting. And I looked at the ratings, and one guy rated it 1 star. He says, yeah, the game looks awesome, but I can't afford it. It was like $5. I'm like, how did that? It just so it's going to be interesting to see how this evolves in a community construct, as well as how apps are able to kind of navigate this new platform. And I think some are just going to fail just outright.
Right.
I think I've seen 7 different tip calculators on.
Yeah, who wants one?
Well, but they're all like 99 cents. I'm like, inevitably, this is going to be free, and I really don't need one. Okay.
Yeah.
And so
there's a perfect example where if they control the platform and they could keep people from doing this stuff, in effect, they're forcing you to buy 99-cent tip calculators instead of the free one, which you should get if there were an open ecology. So, somebody like you would say, well, come on.
Well,
that's,
But that's my question is, where is that bar? Is that bar at Super Monkey Ball, or is that bar at Ms. Pac-Man? Both of them are $10. And unless you are a Ms. Pac-Man fanatic, I mean, the extreme value weighs heavily on the Super Monkey Ball side. I mean, it's a no-brainer if you had $10 to spend.
Tell me how to play this game. I installed it. I don't know what to do now. It's got these icons at the bottom.
Okay.
I'm in a beautiful forest.
Okay, so are you in free? Did you?
I think I'm in puzzle.
Okay, well, don't go to puzzle. Go into free first.
Okay, let me go back and start over again.
Yeah, I'm going to clear out. I'm going to exit out. And, I mean, it's OE Cake, the desktop app may help you kind of understand a little bit more about it. By default, the second icon over shows you the type of element that you can drop in. Start scribbling on the screen. And I don't know if you still have my video up. And by default, the water element is what you're going to drop in. And then you can move it from side to side.
Oh, so you're not really doing any, it's just for fun.
Well, the puzzle aspect is where you're able to take your knowledge of the way these elements interact with one another to go on to the next level.
Oh, and then when I tilt it, the water goes, oh, look at that. Oh, that's beautiful.
So you can change, if you press the water droplet icon, you can change to any one of these other elements. And like the second one over is, it looks like kind of like a box. And with that, you're able to create kind of a solid line structure.
Uh-huh.
So now I've created a solid line structure. And upon that, I can actually go in and put strings on. It's just a lot of fun to play with, more than anything. Just because of the way it reacts. It's a fun, silly game, but also, kind of like a doodle pad that does more than just a doodle pad.
This is wild.
You can also erase certain parts of it.
The whole idea is there's a physical world, there's physics, and you're learning how things interact.
Right. And just, having fun, generally with an accelerometer. So the same thing...
This is the coolest thing I ever saw. This is awesome.
Well, it's, there's some deeper levels to it. When you find the string part, then you'll really have fun with it. I think the string is the most fun little thing that you can create, because it really reacts like a string. And then,
where's the string? Is it in this toolbox here?
Yes,
it's like a hose.
Yes, it's a hose. It's like a reverse S. You have to hang it off of a solid object, which looks like the box if you've created a solid object.
Yep,
so you can hang it off there, and then you can move it around. If you want to eliminate things, you can turn on the eraser tool, which you toggle from the pen mode. You can also set the water on fire by choosing the flame, and then the flame will burn up the water. So yeah, you can get the same application for free on the desktop. It does about the same thing. There's no puzzle on the desktop, but it's just taking this around and just giving it to a child, or hey,
this is very
an
cool.
adult who pretends he's a child.
This is super fun. I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just doing the free play. But I've got the string. I've got water. Wow.
And then you can turn on music. It's just soothing. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
No, I think this is actually exactly the kind of thing I've been wondering about. Why aren't there more kind of
creative
games that are creative that aren't shoot 'em ups?
Yeah, I mean it's really, I think, going to be contingent on creative developers who have a knack for understanding the platform, understanding the economy of the platform, understanding design, understanding need. and I think you're going to see a few breakaway apps, but I didn't realize it was. I mean, I hate to say this. I was expecting a little more from the App Store and the apps that I saw there. It's easy to navigate.
What would you have liked to have seen? What would have made you go, "Oh, this is incredible"?
If every app I saw I wanted to buy, and I mean
Right.
by feel, by look, going wow. Like, yes, I don't know, I don't understand the game, but it looks amazing, I have to buy it. And I've seen some things that are just kind of like, yeah, it's like, why? I mean, even,
Yeah.
and I found myself questioning a 99-cent purchase because of the way an app was designed or the value of that app. I didn't think it was worth 99 cents versus a game like Super Monkey Ball, which I was thinking, that's only $9? Oh, I am so in. So it's I don't think that's just me. I think it's just a value that we ascribe to what is this application going to do? Are there any other applications on the platform that do the same thing? Or what's the likelihood of an application being developed that will do the same thing at a lesser cost? And
We did find some applications like 70. There's a $70 application for airline pilots.
oh yeah. I saw that one. Well, if it's a small market, they have to
Right.
price it, accordingly.
$70 is I think the most expensive one we've found so far. What I do like is that Apple is allowing people to set their own prices.
Yes.
But, unlike the music, it's not all $1.99 or $10.99 or whatever it is Apple wants to charge.
I'm afraid I'm going to run out of screen space. I really am, because I think I'm become addicted to these little apps. Have you tried Madomi yet?
No, what's Madomi?
It's a free app.
That's the one where you sing to.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it works. It works amazingly well.
Erica Sadun was talking about that earlier today on the show, and she said one of her concerns was that in Britain they charge you a pound to recognize a song, and she was afraid that was going to happen here in the States. As yet, they don't charge for that.
Okay, here's another one for you. It's a free one. World 9.
World 9.
Yes, it looks horrible, but the idea is that you turn it on, and all it does is this. So based on the accelerometer, you can stick this in your pocket and jump down the street. Jump into a store and start.
Only you would want this particular game.
It's not even. It's just stupid, but it's free. So hey, I'll take stupid for free any day of the week.
You've obviously found Phone Saver already.
Phone Saver. Oh, Saber. Yes.
Saber, yeah, like
Yes.
the lightsaber.
Yes, I've got that. We were dueling it out earlier.
Yeah, I figured you'd know about that one.
Of course.
Well, what's interesting is what's happening, and it's happening right here, is that people are starting to talk about the applications that they're finding and sharing that. And that, to me, is a very good sign. That gives it that viral element that can make an application a hit, especially as the store gets bigger. I don't know how many apps there are right now. Already it feels almost overwhelming, like there are too many apps, and people are already saying, what's good? What do you like?
Well, I think they launched with just under 600.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah. Well, a few of them I think were ebooks, and I think there needs to be an ebook category, and there's not. I think it's going to be a challenge for Apple, because imagine if there's 5,000, and Xbox kind of faced the same hurdle. How do you more easily display these things so that it's coherent? So imagine instead of having 5 different tip calculators, there's now 50. And I'm not saying it's going to happen, but that's just an example. So how is the average user going to go through? They're not going to download all of them. I mean, especially if they're not able to download a demo and get a refund on an application that, quite honestly may suck. Apple needs to address that as it expands its store. I think they've got a better structure for it, and I think their larger story for the viral nature is inherent in the App Store on the iPhone. It's amazing, because imagine this. Imagine a scenario, you and I are in the same, kind of like what we did over Skype here. We're in the same room together. You're saying, oh, look at this app, I can do this. I'm like, wow, that's great. Then I go to my iPhone, I go click, 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 and I've got it installed too.
Right.
So there's no waiting. I mean, it's instant gratification. You're able to, I think Apple's relying on the word of mouth nature of the way these things spread. Like Super Monkey Ball was just the talk of the town. So no doubt it shot to #1. It's an amazing application, amazing game, perfect game for the iPhone. I mean, just it was made for it. And you get that kind of story, and pretty soon, Apple doesn't need to do anything in terms of organization because they know that, well, ultimately people are going to turn to their friends and ask their friends what they use, and then that's inevitably what that person's going to use as well.
I think it's already happening. When the first thing you and I talk about when we get on is what's cool, what's neat, what do you like, and you just shared some great applications, and people are going crazy. They're really enjoying this.
Well, that's the thing, is there's an excitement around it. It's easy, it's fun, it's accessible. It's the App Store on the iPhone, and I don't mean like the things you can put on it. I mean the actual App Store. The fact that I can click install, and within a matter of minutes, there it is. No touching the desktop at all. Forget the Exchange stuff, which, yes, I'm thrilled about, but that itself has overcome so many hurdles that users have experienced or not experienced really with their current phones that aren't. I mean, I don't know if you've ever gone through the pain.
Yeah, it's funny that you should say that, because one of the reasons I didn't, I kind of gave up on the iPhone and kind of started using my BlackBerry is because I wanted third-party apps, but they've done such a good job on third-party apps now on the iPhone that I have to say the BlackBerry looks kind of antiquated and stupid.
Well, that's what I believe a writer for Gizmodo said as well. He was a Crackberry addict.
Yeah.
And he was mentioning, too, that the Exchange support was pretty darn phenomenal. Apple's making all the right moves in the consumer space. I think the next iteration of Mac OS X and Snow Leopard is going to give it a lot more legitimacy in corporate environments. They're really timing the market in such a way that I don't think anybody could have predicted, but they're doing it very wisely, and I'd hate to see them lose momentum. I really would.
Well, let me ask you, do you think that the iPhone people will still be jailbreaking the iPhone?
Oh, yeah.
They will.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's inevitable. I mean, if it's possible, people will do it.
Why? Because, I mean, now you could buy all these apps you don't need to.
Well, if people don't want to buy the apps, I think a lot of pushback is like, well, this used to be free, now it costs money. Right. It's like, well, then don't. Right. If you don't find a value in a $7 app, then don't spend your money.
But these are cheap. I mean, this is not very expensive. They're not spending a lot of money on this thing.
Well, I think the worry is that as it starts to add up. But the way I look at it is like, well, how much does an average DS game cost you? Maybe $20.
Yeah, these are cheap.
Or a PSP game may cost a bit more, but inevitably the only device that I'm carrying around with me is this one. It's my phone. It's
but this completely beats the DS. I mean, I think the Nintendo DS is a great platform, but in terms of resolution and quality, I mean, I think this beats it all.
Not even close. The Super Monkey Ball application. It's the accelerometer, the touch aspect. I mean, Apple's, I'm not going to say they've got a perfect storm, but it's going to be very interesting to see how this platform continues to develop. Every other carrier, every other mobile platform, I know I'm not going to say grasping at straws, because certainly there are a lot of strong platforms, but there's no way Nokia would have open sourced or made a move to kind of embrace Symbian the way they are if the iPhone didn't exist. No way in hell. And that's I don't want to say that's kind of like a last ditch effort to try to gain attention. And Nokia certainly sells its fair share of devices, but the more people that see this, the more they're going to start to just understand, wow, that's simple. Wow, that's easy. Wow, that's fun. I show someone the SMS application and people just freak out. They're like, wow, I would actually use that. Or, wow. It's the wow factor that very few other mobile devices have captured. I mean, the PSP captured it, DS captured it, but this is the only phone, in my opinion, that's ever captured, well, I know from my experience, has ever captured my attention. I've never purchased a mobile app in my entire life. Ever.
Really? Oh, I purchased a ton of them.
Nope.
Really?
Nope. Because it was always a pain in the ass.
Right.
And it was
Well,
just like,
and
it wasn't
Tango and
worth it.
stuff. I mean, you're right. This is a much better experience. But I mean, I bought a lot of apps and I use a lot of apps. Some of them, by the way, are now on the iPhone store, like Handmark's Pocket Express.
Ah, yes.
I don't think they're going to do. I'll be honest with you. I think Pocket Express, which is great on the BlackBerry, is going to look pretty primitive compared to some of these other iPhone apps. It's not going to be the polished app that these other iPhone apps are. I think a lot of people who've developed apps in the past for smartphone platforms are going to be left out in the cold. It's going to be the Mac developers, the Apple developers, people like these OE Cake guys who are going to know how to make something that really fits the platform.
Well, that's, I think, another feather in Apple's cap, in the sense that as these apps continue to evolve, you'll be notified of the updates. I mean,
I love that.
that's
I found
just,
that, isn't that cool?
God, you know, it's like every hurdle that exists, there's no argument against it. I mean, the ease of upgrading an app inside of you know, this experience is unparalleled. Absolutely unparalleled. So even as developers continue, and maybe their first effort is not that great, maybe it wasn't warmly accepted, it could be price or it could be design. They at least have that chance to maneuver those waters with a lot more freedom than I think they can on other platforms. And it's going to be very interesting to see how they react to this particular market. Because whereas like the Windows Mobile, you know, the Palm OS, you know, Symbian, the market's kind of fragmented, and the experience for the user is rather, well, no, it's extremely poor in terms of mobile applications and really this rich user experience. This is a different construct altogether, and you know, developers will have to embrace that. Otherwise, you know, unless they have just an amazing, if they have an amazing app, maybe it'll be a breakaway hit. You're going to see very few breakaway hits, a lot of minor successes, but over time, it's going to be, the onus is going to be on the developer to really understand this particular market in a way that no other mobile markets have existed.
Do you think there's going to be much of a market for the 3G iPhone, given the power of the App Store being? I mean, I really think of the three big changes: 3G, GPS, and the App Store. The App Store is easily the biggest part. Why even buy the iPhone 3G? Why not just keep your iPhone first generation, or use an iPod Touch as I am here, and get 90% of that benefit?
You know, I'm finding myself asking the same question. You know, the only reason why, if you needed a GPS, or if there was an application that was a killer app that, you know, relied on the GPS, that would be the reason. Of course, 3G is nice if you're in an area that you know, has 3G support. You know, beyond that, it's not as compelling an upgrade as it could have been. It really isn't. And I don't know if Apple, I know Apple did that on purpose. Because, you know,
why did they do that?
Well, you know, think about it. I mean, do you really want to upset your market? All these people that have purchased the iPhone have had it for the past year or so. You know, they're going to feel left out. And that's, you know, they've already got so much buzz going for them. I'm like, well, if the hardware can support it, might as well give it to them. And, you know, that way they don't have to reinvest if they don't want to. They've got a fully functional device, and it's a massive upgrade. I mean, it's almost as much of a hardware upgrade as it was a software upgrade. So after seeing the iPhone OS 2.0 on, you know, this current gen device, or first gen, the upgrade path just doesn't seem to be as strong as I thought it was. I don't know. I think Apple's making a smart move because they're removing objection. You know, they're saying that, well, if you want a 3G connection, now you can get one. Or, you know, you can find now if you have a current generation iPhone, you're fine with the Edge connection, then you can keep that or get one on the secondhand market. So right. They, you know, I don't know. I think it was awesome for them to release the firmware update, or I guess OS update for these devices. I don't think it's going to hurt them at all, though. It may dent their potential 3G sales, but their experience is going to be made stronger because everybody's going to get addicted to the apps going, man, I need this app to be faster. I want it to be faster. I need it, you know, a faster connection to the net. I need a GPS. I need to get the 3G. I need to get it.
Right.
So they did it right. If they wouldn't released the iPhone 2.0, I think more people would have been upset because they would say, well, wait a minute, now I've got the old gen, this sucks, this is stupid. That's just bad PR.
Well, I think there are a lot of people. We're going to start making the rounds of Apple stores and see how many people are in line. But just looking at what I'm seeing here, there are a lot of stores where there are 2 people in line, 4 people in line. And even New York City, there are 10 people in line. I don't think they're going to see the crazy sales that they saw with the first generation iPhone. There's certainly not that kind of crazy excitement.
No, I think it's because people are kind of in a wait and see, and as you're going to see, I think iPhone sales accelerate. Probably a few months after launch, after more or iPhone apps or iPod Touch apps have been developed and released, as kids bring it to school and show their friends, or whether it be at the college level or high school level, people going into work, showing it off. And that's a lot of people have been, said, well, I didn't want to buy an iPhone now, I want to wait for the next version. There's a lot of questions, I think, in the consumer's mind, and more than anything, the early adopters already have a current iPhone. They already have an iPhone, and now they're playing around with the new OS. So they're questioning, well, this is good enough for me. Why would I go out and spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars on something new? Most of the people that are going to be in this wave are going to be, I believe, going to be new iPhone owners, not necessarily existing iPhone owners.
Right.
So go ahead.
It's great to talk to you. I'm
Yeah,
going to let you go.
no problem.
Are you going to stay up? Are you going to keep doing this all night? I mean, does this go on forever?
This goes on forever. I don't know when I'm heading to bed, though. It's like, this is early for me. I've got my cup of Pete's, though. I'm good. I'm good for now.
I noticed that. You got a big old cup of coffee there. It's 1 in.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
I've actually been saving. I haven't caffeinated yet because I still have about 10 hours left before I get to go home. But,
well, where are you at? Are you in your studio right now?
I'm in my studio in Petaluma, yeah. Which, by the way, next time you're in the Bay Area, please come over and say hi.
Sure, without a doubt.
I'd love to see you. Yeah, and as I've said several times in several places, you're the inspiration for this. I would never even have considered it if you hadn't been doing this already. And I thought, boy, that's crazy. That would be fun to do.
You give me too much credit.
Not at all. You were the pioneer in the 24-hour tech broadcast.
Yes. And let me tell you.
Well, and the stuff that you've done with the lower third chat and the ads and set and everything, it really, I got red curtains just because of you.
Well, I tell you, the red curtains are pretty damn strong.
I like them.
Now you have to go get a Tengu now. You need the Tengu.
Yeah, I want the Tengu. I like the Tengu. Tengu is awesome. ThinkGeek does some great stuff.
It's just genius. You also have to get the USB humping dog.
And what does it hump?
USB port.
Okay, I'll just leave that to your imagination, folks.
I'm serious.
I know you're serious. That's what scares me.
Yeah.
All right, Chris.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
See you, Leo.
Good to talk to you.
Yeah, you
Take
too.
care.
Anytime.
Bye.
All right.